It's official. Dimitri Cherny is running for the United States Congress for Congressional District 1. In this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with him one-on-one. It's been a historic day for you.
It has been.
May I say, because you actually posted this on Facebook, quote, in Columbia, filing to run for the United States House of Representatives as a Democrat for the 1st Congressional District of South Carolina. I'm wondering, Cherny, what did you tell yourself after you filed?
Wow, I feel good. Yeah, that was it. It was a good feeling.
Yes.
As I said, you know, a lot of things in life you go through big steps, big step functions like this. And it's tough to realize the importance of them until at least a few hours or maybe a few days or sometimes years later. So we'll see where this goes. But mostly now I realize, yeah, this is serious. I'm really committed here. I have a number of supporters. We have like 300 and something people that have contributed to the campaign so far, and they're counting on me to push this forward, and that's exactly what I intend to do. So I'm doing this full time, and we're going to start getting deeper into the communities that are supporting the issues that I'm concerned about and the issues that they're concerned about that I'm covering, and we're going to make a real good push to get Mark Sanford out and get me in there.
Speaking of supporters, I saw this on Twitter last week where you actually directed your supporters to a filing fundraising page for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's what, $10,000 that is to file for Congress.
It's $10,440 for the Senate.
Yikes.
So our friend Thomas Dixon, who also filed today,
Right.
Had to pay that.
Yikes.
And I had to pay for the U.S. House of Representatives just $3,480 by comparison.
Wow.
Much easier nut to crack.
Okay.
But still, that was tough to get to that point. And I think they set that, and not every state has this.
Okay.
Every state has it completely different. Some states have a $50 filing fee, and some states require 10,000 signatures, and
Right.
some states require $1,000 filing fee and 10,000 signatures. So in some ways, we're easier than other states, but I think we have the second highest filing fees just compared to Florida, that's higher than us. So it's a little bit tough to understand why they're doing that, because it does make it so that you have to be either relatively wealthy to have that kind of money out there, or be well known in the community. But it's a little bit of a high bar to cross, and I think that's probably the first thing that we need to do to get money out of politics is do something to get rid of that fee here in South Carolina.
And speaking of that high bar that you actually have to cross, it's Mark Sanford.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, how are you going to beat him?
Well, what we're seeing is there's a lot of discontent here in the 1st Congressional District. I'm hoping it's going to be the majority of people that are discontented, not necessarily just with Mark in particular, but just with the policies in general that the Republican Party has been forwarding for the past 2 decades, really. That an awful lot of people in the 1st Congressional District, like in many other places in South Carolina, haven't been doing well. I mean, this economy has not been good for us. An awful lot of us were kicked out of the economy in the Great Recession and have been struggling ever since. And the economy hasn't really picked up, even though the jobs numbers have picked up. Most of those jobs are minimum wage jobs, or they're part-time jobs. And people, right now, the data shows as many as 75% of Americans, and I'm figuring that's probably close to true for the 1st Congressional District also. 75% of us are living paycheck to paycheck. And so we're, one minor financial disaster away from complete financial collapse. Your car breaks down. Now you can't get to work.
Right.
And you don't have money to fix your car. And it just spirals down from there. So a lot of people that I've met are in exactly that situation and want to make things better, make some changes.
Ben Garvis, he didn't have enough money to run into the race for 1st Congressional District 1. Tell me, where were you emotional with that?
Emotionally, I was a little relieved. Ben's a nice guy, young, 27, but our issues, our ideologies were pretty much aligned. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense for 2 guys that are basically saying the same things to be competing. So I was a little relieved that he's out of it, because now as long as nobody else files before the deadline, Wednesday at noon up in Columbia, I will be the Democratic candidate for the 1st Congressional District. So that means I get the support of the Democratic Party sooner, rather than having to wait until June and they'd have to, give both of us support. So it makes things a little bit easier. Ben's a good guy. He says he's going to work with our campaign.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to working with him. He's a smart guy.
Quickly describe to me the following one word: Brussels.
Brussels, tragedy.
Pakistani bombings.
Same thing, tragedy.
Bernie Sanders winning Washington State, Alaska, and Hawaii over the weekend.
I feel good.
Tent City.
Yeah, Tent City, complicated problem. I'm disappointed that the city hasn't done something different. That Tecklenburg hasn't done something different with them. But the game isn't over yet.
Roads in South Carolina.
Roads in South Carolina. What a mess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Dimitri Cherny, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Thanks, Quintin.
I appreciate
Good
that.
to see you again.
Thank you too.